So, no surprise to anyone. The WNBA playoff rankings, we mentioned this a bit earlier in the week. They're down. We knew they would be down. They're going to continue to go down. When it was Caitlin Clark, it was massive numbers. When it wasn't, it was even less on average than the previous playoff series that opened the 3 games.
Caitlin Clark just exposed a major issue for the WNBA after their ratings took a nosedive, and honestly, it feels like this was bound to happen. No Caitlin Clark means no stats on the scoreboard and fewer fans in the stands. It's simple math. The girl brought in an average of 2.5 million viewers, while other players acted like she isn't the reason people are tuning into the WNBA. It's wild. Now, the league and its players are left to land in a corner because nobody seems to care when she's not playing. Caitlin entered the WNBA like a wrecking ball, and now the league has to pick up the pieces. While she was bringing in 2.5 million viewers, the best game since her departure barely scraped 129,000 viewers. Before we dive deeper into the ratings drop, let's talk about the Caitlin Clark effect. Her debut in the 2024 WNBA season was seismic, drawing 2.12 million viewers for her first game. Just let that sink in for a moment. Before Caitlin arrived, the league was averaging around 394,000 viewers per game. Throughout the season, her games consistently attracted over 1 million viewers, making 2024 the highest viewed season in 24 years. This is more than just a rookie getting attention. It's a whole movement.
2.5 million viewers. And then the best game since she's been eliminated, 929,000 viewers. Now,
and it wasn't just the die-hard basketball fans tuning in. Caitlin Clark had that crossover appeal. Suddenly, folks who had never even touched a basketball were captivated. If you're one of them, drop a comment below. They weren't just there for the game. They were there to witness Caitlin work her magic on the court. With jaw-dropping assists and 3-pointers from another dimension, she made every play feel like a highlight reel. Caitlin didn't just deliver. She left everyone wondering if she was even human.
And the Fever are going to be over 200,000 higher than the next highest total attendance in league history.
Clarkonomics, my friend, Clarkonomics.
In Indiana, Caitlin Clark made an immediate impact. The Fever's home games were the hottest ticket in the league, averaging 16,571 fans per game. Other teams couldn't even come close. It felt like every game she played was a sold-out concert, with fans willing to pay top dollar just to say they saw her live. Attendance shot up by an incredible 105%, both at home and on the road. Teams that were used to playing in front of half-empty stands suddenly found themselves in packed arenas, all because Caitlin was in the building. Even during away games, they drew 36% more fans than any other team. Caitlin wasn't just an Indiana favorite. She had become a national sensation.
Fever will have over 600,000 fans in attendance total this year, and the second best to that was in 1999 with the Washington Mystics at just over 400,000. So the Fever are going to account for over 200,000 more fans this year to their game.
The WNBA has been striving for years to secure its place in the sports world, constantly battling for viewership and relevance. Then Caitlin Clark burst onto the scene, and suddenly, people who had never given the lead a second thought were tuning in like clockwork. Every game she played became a must-watch event, out of the top 12 most-watched games of the season. You guessed it, all 12 featured Caitlin Clark. It felt like the rest of the league had to step aside and let her take center stage. No other player could match her draw. Caitlin was the WNBA's gravitational force, with networks and even casual fans orbiting around her.
Caitlin Clark is clearly a catalyst for a business that was, and let's be honest, Caitlin to some degree financially saved the WNBA. It was hemorrhaging money for years.
The matchup of the year? Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. This game was hyped to the max, and it did not disappoint, pulling in over 2.3 million viewers, the most watched WNBA game in decades. This wasn't just another regular season showdown. It was the showdown. With two rising stars battling it out and intense competition on the court, fans tuned in not just to see who would win, but to witness Caitlin work her magic. Every dribble, every shot. Viewers were on the edge of their seats, wondering what incredible play she would pull off next.
Caitlin Clark is college basketball's biggest star. She's must-see TV, and she's growing the game in what some are calling the Caitlin Clark effect. Neil Gear has more from Iowa City.
And looking. Here's Clark. She fires. And goes! She hit it!
Ask any little girl in the stands at Carver Hawkeye.
Who's your favorite player on the team?
You'll get the same answer.
Probably Caitlin Clark.
Over.
Caitlin Clark.
And over again.
Caitlin Clark.
Everywhere the junior plays, attendance is up. Not by the hundreds, but by the thousands.
Caitlin brought in an astounding 2.5 million viewers. Just another day, right? Wrong. That kind of number for a rookie playoff game is practically unheard of in the WNBA. Caitlin didn't just maintain her momentum from the regular season, she skyrocketed. She wasn't merely playing basketball. She was putting on an unforgettable show, and everyone wanted a front row seat.
The optimistic point of view would be, hey, Caitlin Clark comes in the league. It's a huge boon for us. It's something that's helped us throughout. And here we have a year-to-year situation where the ratings are better. So she did attract new fans or new people to the sport.
The Clark effect wasn't just driving ticket sales and TV ratings. It was supercharging the entire WNBA ecosystem. ESPN, one of the league's key broadcasters, experienced a staggering 170% surge in viewership for games featuring Caitlin Clark. That's not just a bump. It's an outright explosion. Suddenly, networks that had struggled to attract eyes to WNBA games were reaping the benefits, all thanks to one player, Caitlin Clark. This wasn't just a successful season for the Fever or the WNBA. It was a monumental victory for broadcasters, sponsors, and everyone involved with the league.
She's the reason the WNBA just won the lottery. Without Caitlin Clark, nobody cares about any of these players or the league.
The drop-off wasn't just noticeable, it was downright shocking. Going from 2.45 million viewers to under 500,000 in the blink of an eye is almost unheard of in professional sports. Caitlin Clark's absence didn't just lower the stakes, it completely sucked the energy out of the postseason. The league transformed from a must-watch event to a "is this still on?" situation practically overnight. It's not like the other matchups lacked talent. Veteran stars were still putting on impressive performances. But let's be honest, fans tuned in for Caitlin. Once she was out of the picture, interest dwindled. It was like going to a concert and having the headliner leave after the first song. Sure, the opening acts were solid, but nobody paid to see them.
There's a league with players that feel like they should be getting the attention. Now they have center stage, but the ratings are going to go down. How far, though? That's the key.
It wasn't just TV ratings that took a nosedive. The arenas felt the impact too. During the regular season, Caitlin Clark transformed Indiana Fever games into must-attend events, whether at home or on the road. They were drawing an impressive average of 16,571 fans at home, and on the road, they boosted attendance for other teams by 36%. But as soon as the Fever were eliminated, it was as if someone flipped a switch. Those playoff arenas suddenly felt like ghost towns compared to the packed houses of the regular season. Fans who had flocked to see Clark lighted up were now reconsidering their plans, opting to stay home instead. Original CLIP. The difference was striking. Regular season games featuring Caitlin Clark were alive with a buzz, radiating an electric energy that made every three-pointer and behind-the-back pass feel like a major event. But once she left the scene, that excitement disappeared faster than free snacks at a party, and so did the fans. The playoffs, which were meant to be the grand finale of an incredible season, quickly became a stark reminder of just how reliant the WNBA had become on one player. Without Caitlin, the thrill evaporated, leaving the league to scramble and pick up the pieces.
WNBA ratings are embarrassing without Caitlin Clark. 0 games have sold out in the playoffs. Outside of Caitlin Clark, there was not a single game that eclipsed 500,000 viewers. Hell, they weren't even close to doing that.
ESPN found itself grappling with a heavy dose of disappointment as playoff ratings took a nosedive. This wasn't just a minor dip, it was a dramatic free fall. Networks and advertisers who had put their faith in the Caitlin Clark phenomenon were left scratching their heads, asking, what now? Interest had seemingly vanished, and that had to sting. This situation highlighted a glaring issue, the WNBA's over-reliance on Clark. Sure, every league has its stars, but typically, when one player is sidelined, the show must go on. However, without Caitlin, it felt like the season had lost its direction. Playoff games that should have been can't-miss events turned into mere afterthoughts. It was as if fans had shown up just to see one player, and when she was gone, they all packed up and left. In the end, Caitlin Clark's absence didn't just deflate the WNBA's ratings, it exposed a deeper problem. While she had sparked an incredible surge in viewership and interest, everything unraveled when she stepped away. The league had ridden the wave of her success all season long, but it became clear that the WNBA needed to work harder to build a fan base that didn't hinge on one player. Caitlin had given the league a taste of the spotlight, but if the WNBA wanted to stay relevant, it would need more than just a single superstar.